Hi, KOG here. I just did the Rise of Bangtan, Chapter 11, the deleted and the bonus content, and it was great. Just getting better and better. I think it's uh, there's so much more content due to by this time I think BTS has so much more popularity, and there's so much more of you know sources available, and obviously these guys are just ridiculously good editors and document creators. I mean, think about it. How many 20 chapter documentaries have you ever seen in your life? Not that many. Even the, so-called, like, I don't know, like BBC or something. I mean, you don't make these huge documentaries. It's not easy. So hats off to these guys. And what's great is that they got a lot more to work with, and they're coming up with some awesome stuff. Let's go. I have high hopes for this one too. Too hot.
네, 배달했습니다.
Wait.
진짜요? 진짜요?
근데 저희가 지금 이 아름다운 순간의 끝에는 뭐가 있을까?
이거 황유라가 끝난 뒤에
글쎄요. 잘은 생각은 안 해봤는데 조금
분명히 지금이 이제 가장 높이 와 있는 거라고 한다면 분명히 이제 내려가는 순간이 있을 거예요.
아름다운 순간의 끝은 항상 끝이죠. 끝이 있는 거죠.
그렇기 때문에 저는 지금 저희가 많은 분들이 봐주시기에 그리고 저희가 스스로 느끼기에도 오르막을 생각한다고 하지만 그와 동시에 또 팀의 리더기도 하기 때문에 늘 이 내리막의 순간은 어떨지 그때가 오면 어떻게 될지에 대해서 사실 걱정하고 생각을 하는 편인데
여러 가지들 중에 이제 몇몇 가지는 이제 제가 후회하는 부분들이 있었을 것 같아요.
항상 이 불확실한 뭔가 미래에 대해서 특히 두려움이 되게 큰 것 같아요. 제 자신은.
이렇게 많이 이루어놓은 것들이 있는데 이것들이 한순간에 정말 다 사라져버린다고 생각을 한다면 정말로 무섭지 않을까요?
The translation, I'm not sure, but I don't think it was very clear. The question was, hey 정국아, what would be at the end of this beautiful moment? Now it's kind of implied that what would come after this beautiful moment. I think whoever asked the question was referring to, because they're doing well here, they're hitting their strides. The guy asked, this is such a beautiful moment, but at the end of it, what do you think will be there? Now, it kind of shows it's a glimpse into their psyche, because the question can be taken in a very different way. Just like, I think, was it V? think V was very positive in that, like, you know, because it's like it's an afterward. Nobody talked about after this beautiful moment that all their talk about how they'll be losing everything, or they're scared of the future, or going downhill. The question wasn't about that. What will be at the end of this beautiful moment? It could have been about, like, oh, you know what? We'll work hard to go to the next level, or after this beautiful moment, no matter what happens, you will be remembering. We'll always try to remember this, this achievement, or this beautiful feeling. Or there can be a million different ways to answer this question. And the fact that many of these guys interpreted it, although question wasn't about, like, after this beautiful moment, or after this peak, when you, like, start to slide down, how would you feel? That wasn't the question, but they took it as that, and it means that they're doing great, but there's that lingering feeling of fear of that losing all the beautiful things they have now. It kind of shows me, it's my interpretation, but they still have that little bit of angst at this point, the fear.
2016년 9월 25일 제2회
Ooh, my sister's my daughter's birthday, September 25th. And it is my sister's birthday too. They both have the same birthday, so I'm sorry, but I cannot celebrate my sister's birthday.
내일 26일 날 이제 곧 나의 컨셉 트레일러 인트로 영상이 공개가 되는데
아까 낮에 찍은 게 저거잖아. 이제 거의 다 왔습니다.
진짜 떨린다. 그리고 진짜 이번에는 나 또한 칼을 갈고 연습을 했고, 근데 너무나도 좋은 모습을 보여드리고 싶었기 때문에
수고했어요. God, he looks tired.
진짜 그러게.
솔직히 말해서 박수를 많이 받고 싶다. 박수 쳐주셨으면 좋겠다. 이번 영상을 보고 와, 역시 호비라는 말을 듣고 싶다.
Who doesn't?
이렇게 생각해보면 나도 진짜 뭔가 진짜 가수하려고 태어난 사람 같아.
I think this is the point, the blood, sweat, and tears. And, like, starting from here, I feel like BTS was unchained. I mean, I think they got their wings. Because before here, I feel like they're still chasing. And there were financial constraints, time constraints. And they just had to, the company, they had to get to a certain point to feel safe, at least. And what's wonderful is, even when it was like they were fighting for survival, they still kept their concept, their philosophy. Man, Bang PD, trusted them and laid it all out there to get here was incredible. But starting from here, I felt like they're able to do things, make music videos with concepts and kind of music, or visually, or whatever. They were not bound anymore. You know, they're meant to fly, and they're flying. And what I loved, starting from BTS from this point, is just freaking where they're flying to. You know, when they have all the money or something, and when things are going well, they could have gone out and, I don't know, start getting supercars, or I don't know, do some crazy things, that do drugs or whatever, or the music. They just play it safe or whatever. No, but they just went the other way. Their artistry more complex, more philosophical. The visuals, everything is more layered. They're doing more experimental, or things that might be more risque in the past. They might have been scared to do. I mean, even later on, like things like you know, like Black Swan or something. I mean, you know, just guys dancing and stuff, you know, barefooted, and what, you know, what the song sounds like, you know, the Black Swan. It sounds like, I don't know, like ballet or something. I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying. But they're just going the right way, and I'm so happy that they did, and I'm so proud they did.
네, V라이브 시청자 여러분 안녕하십니까? 10월 9일 카운트다운 방탄뉴스 앵커 진입니다. 오늘의 소식입니다. 방탄소년단이
네,
정규 2집 앨범을 낸다고 합니다. 현장에는 슈가님을 모셨습니까?
네, 현장에 나와 있는
반갑습니다.
네, 슈가입니다. 네, 지금 방탄소년단 이 정규 2집이 막 발매가 됐다고 하는데요.
네. 혹시 방탄소년단의 정규 2집 앨범을 들어보셨나요?
네. 현장상이 네, 굉장히 좋은데요.
Urban responses.
그래서 어떻다고요?
네, 앨범이 대박이 날 것 같습니다.
저희의 1집 다크 앤 와일드였죠. 그 정말 제목처럼 굉장히 어둡고 또 불안한 그런 청춘 아니었습니까?
네네.
하지만 이번 앨범 윙스입니다, 여러분. 날개를 날아오르고 방탄소년단이 날아오를 준비가 됐다는 바로 그런 뜻인데요.
Exactly.
유혹을 만나다.
야.
빠밤 해주시기로 했잖아요. 뭔가 유혹하면 되게 우리 근처에 있어요.
그렇죠.
어떤 유혹이 있을까요?
먹고 싶은 거.
그렇죠. 먹고 싶은 게 있겠죠.
식욕.
그리고 우리 정국이 내일 뭐 스케줄 해야 되는데요.
자야 되는데.
자야 되는데 게임하고 싶고 그런 유혹이 있잖아요.
침대 밑으로 바로 컴퓨터가 보여요.
그런 소년의 뭔가 갈등과 고민을 뭔가 이렇게 느끼면서
데미안이 가장 많은 부분에서 이제 저희가 하고자 하는 얘기와 많은 흡사한 부분 접점이 있다고 느꼈어요. 그래서 이제 자켓이나 뮤직비디오 컨셉에 데미안에서 나오는 많은 오브제들이나 그런 요소들을 많이 차용을 했습니다.
자, 정규 2집 윙스
화이팅!
Man, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's more conceptual. I mean, Herman Heese's Damien, selling your soul to anyway, making a pact with devil, whatever. Just a bit about in Korea, they have tendency to name people's name or things as it's introduced in Korea or as it's called. Now I'm not sure that Herman Heese, that's a German name, my understanding is. So in Korea they call that his name Herman Hesse. Now I'm sure it's not exactly, I'm not pronouncing it the right way either, but they try to be close to what they're called. And there are many things like this, but like in English, when I was living in the United States, for a long time I already knew about Herman Heese. I loved his work, so I was looking for his book, but it just doesn't come up in conversation, you know, like not, you know, like you're in middle school, high school, you're talking to some kids and go, oh, have you read the Herman Heese? No, it just doesn't happen very often. So anyway, I went to, I believe it was a bookstore or something, and I was looking for some of his one of his books, and I said, could you tell me? I can't find the section on Herman Hesse, and and I just remember the guy just what who what for many times I'm like I wrote it down for him. And he says, "Oh, you mean Herman Hesse?" And I felt kind of stupid, but there's a lot of that. Now I think back, I think there's I only went to school in America. I grew up there, so that's all I know. There are many names that are, I would say, Americanized, and I don't know if that's a good thing. They should call it what they call themselves, because these are things like names. If it's like a verb, something linguistically, I mean, it could be translated, but like for example, there's a bunch of those like Aristotle. It's in Korea they call it Aristoteles, and I think that sounds closer to the Greek or the Latin-based name that was closer to how it was supposed to be pronounced. And there are a bunch of those. Like, so in Korea, they use just they try to write it in Korean. That's what it sounds like. But
한 부분 접점이 있다고 느꼈어요. 그래서 이제 자켓이나 뮤직비디오 컨셉에
It's beautifully
데미안에서
done.
나오는 많은 오브제들이나 그런 요소들을 많이 차용을 했습니다.
자, 정규 이지 윙스
화이팅! 화이팅!
멤버들과 저는 트렌드에 뒤처지지 않는, 그리고 나아가서 트렌드를 이끌 수 있는 음악을 시도해왔습니다. 방탄소년단의 세계관은 성장이라는 가치에 큰 무게를 두고 있습니다. 아티스트로서의 성장이며 동시에 사회 구성원으로서의 성장입니다.
One moment.
있는 음악을 시도해왔습니다. 방탄소년단의 세계관은 성장이라는 가치에
큰
무게를 두고 있습니다.
Yeah, see. Sorry guys. This is my translator thing kicks in when things are something doesn't sound right. This is just totally wrong. It's not 방탄소년단's outlook on the world. It has an impact on their concept of youth. It wasn't about youth. What Bang PD actually said was BTS's worldview or their view of the world construct is heavily based on the concept of growth, not youth, because even old guys can grow and learn shit and stuff. So that's what he meant. And yeah, that's what it is. It's about telling them, because they're growing a whole lot when you're that young. You are growing quite quickly as a musician and a person, as a human being, and that's what they're talking about.
아티스트로서의 성장이며 동시에 사회 구성원으로서의 성장입니다.
Exactly.
本日最後の主人公は防弾少年団。
아 진짜요? 아니에요. 감사합니다. 옷이 고급스럽습니다. 저희 멤버들 아니에요.
네가 뭐 할 수조차 없어. 전 도망갈 수조차 없어. 내가 너무 달콤해, 너무 달콤해, 너무 달콤했어.
요새 마청이 너무 성격이 이상해졌습니다.
컨셉이 이런 컨셉이 아닌데.
회사에서 막았어요. 너는 잘생기고 그랬으니까 차가운 이미지로 조금 한번 가보자꾸나. 자연스럽게 원래 성격들이 조금씩 나오고 있지 않나.
분위기가 되게 많이 달라졌어요.
제가 바로 분위기 메이커죠.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the cool, mysterious calm and collected. Well, the company wanted him to be that way, but he's a complete goofball, lighthearted. It's just he's so cute though.
네, 다음 질문이요.
섹시해졌다는. 섹시.
네, 다음 질문이요.
여기가 바로 자랑스러운 방탄소년단 아미 여러분.
저희 이제 녹화 가겠습니다. 음악 스탠바이. 3.
ミステリアスな魔性の魅力を持つ7人の男。見る者全てを虜にしてしまう防弾少年団です。
SNS상에서의 인기를 반영하는 소셜 50과 월드 앨범, 월드 디지털송 등 세부 차트에서도 1위를 차지했습니다. 뮤지션이 거둔 최고의 성적입니다.
오늘 영광 1위는
결국엔 춤추는 별을 잉태하는 과정이고 과정에서 너무 자연스러운 거니까 방황해도 괜찮다. 지금 좀 유혹을 만날 수 있다. 그랬던 저희가 이제 이 시대 지금 같은 동시대 젊은 친구들에게 꼭 하고 싶은 말이거든요.
새 앨범 윙스로 미국 빌보드 앨범 차트에 2주 연속 이름을 올린 그룹 방탄소년단입니다. 첫 주 26위는 앨범 차트에서 한국 가수가 거둔 최고의 성적.
이주 연속입니다. 아멘. 이거 진짜 대박입니다. 사랑해요, 아멘. 고마워요. 아멘, 아자. 사랑해. 너 아싸 오랑나비.
내가 원한 건 이게 아니었는데. 아이. 내가 원한 건 이게 아니었는데.
까먹으면 돼요. 만원 보세요.
They're having fun.
어떤 이유에서죠?
내가 영양사가 아니라서
체크했어요?
월
살이 덜 찌는 거예요?
팩체가 안한 것 같은데?
어떤 원리인가요?
이유가 있을까요?
어떤 원리죠?
쌀국수는 맛있기 때문에 맛있게 먹으면 0칼로리라거든요.
정확한 팩트입니다. 인정.
네, 맛있으니까 0칼로리 땅땅땅.
맛있게 먹으면 0칼로리다.
그렇지.
오늘 명언이군요.
진짜 못다 야 나 봐봐. 아 네.
Loaded? Where? Which part?
네 제가 거의 돼지인데 이거.
절망을 한다.
피땀 눈물 그 앨범 나올 때도 굉장히 고생 많이 했다고.
그때 제가 무슨 바람이 불어가지고 거울을 딱 보더니 잘생겨 보이고 싶은 거예요. 나도 좀 이제 외모가 괜찮은 멤버들 순위로 올라가고 싶다 이렇게 된 거였죠. 그래서 나도 살 좀 빼야겠다 해서 빼다 보니까 욕심이 너무 생겨가지고 10일간 한 끼만 제대로 먹어.
10일에 한 끼?
네.
That's
대한민국
fasting,
사람들이
man.
좀 더 미에 대해서 좀 더 높은 기준을 가지고 있으신 것 같더라고요. 다른 서양 나라에 비해서.
외모 얘기를 좀 많이 하다 보니까 여자든 남자든 기본적으로 한국 사람들이 많이 남들의 시선을 많이 신경 쓰는 것 같아요.
미니션들 보고 있어. 애들 숨못 쉰다. 오늘 하루 먹으면 어때?
비인간적인 다이어트를 하잖아요. 그분들은 밥도 제대로 안 먹고 하루에 섭취해야 되는 기본 칼로리도 섭취하지 않고 그렇게 당연히 그 몸이 되어서도 안 되고요. 위험하고요.
4일 동안 4kg 뺐어요.
4일 동안 하루 4kg가 빠져요?
하루에 2끼, 총 500칼로리 하루에.
예전에 사실 너무 안 먹으면서 다이어트를 심하게 해서 조금 힘들었어요.
Infinite.
막
God, that's
쓰러질 것 같고.
Heavens.
그래서 옛날에 닌게 맞고 사실 남자 사랑할 때라는 곡을 할 때는 닌게 꽂으면서 약간 맨날 응급실 가서 닌게 꽂고 맨날 밤에 그다음에 다음날 아침에 스케줄 뛰고 이랬었어요.
These ways of doing like diets and stuff should not be idol worthy at all. But then as soon as like one idol comes up that doesn't exactly fit that agenda, it's like shit hits the fan.
이거 좋다. 이거 그거 기분 좋아. 살 빼지 마. 형 이거 모르겠습니다.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Actually, it was nice to see Tan here. So she take cares of her Ubes and other companies too. Yeah, I remember they were just eating some ice cream after, like in a show, and then it must be all the staff and managers just giving them whatever crap for having a little bit of ice cream. Anyway, this is a subject that I've been meaning to talk to people. I wanted to talk to. I have my own strong views, but it just had no place to talk about. I guess I'll be. I totally agree with everything they're saying. I mean, just ridiculous the kind of beauty standards they're going for. And I think it's the camera, man. They're a lot thinner than what you expect. In my little journey of a life, I had more than normal people, I guess, with entertainment business people. I met, the entertainers and singers and stuff while working, but they're just, some of them just look ridiculous. I mean, they have like head this big. Yeah. I mean, they have very small faces and they're like ridiculously thin. And they kind of look normal. I mean, some of them just don't look real. Some, more than the others, but yeah, they have a very, and another thing, there's this thing, I think many people think Koreans are like perfectionist, and in some ways, yes, but not really. Korean people have tendency to be on or off. Korean people in general worry about what other people say. Yeah, these are all true, but there's another factor that that makes these people go nuts, even dieting or something. It's because Koreans have like an on or off switch. There are a bunch of Koreans who doesn't give a doo-doo about how they look. They just don't. It's just not a thing. But when they do care about their work or whatever, they have tendency to go for perfection. Just way overboard, going overboard with it. So that's the thing. They just go a little crazy. Yeah, and in everything. So like, Koreans are not perfectionist in everything. Even if I work with other people, a lot of times I get just crappy results, but sometimes they just go above and beyond. I mean, they can't help, just if they like what they're doing, they really, really do a great job. And so anyway, but another thing that I wanted to tell you guys is I have seen some horrendous vlogs, like YouTube content and other stuff on that say, like, I remember, like, I have seen like the most horrific, terrible thing ever. That is a ridiculous Korean, barbaric Korean beauty standards. And I'm like sitting there going, what? I mean, they're just going the other way. I totally agree with everything what's being said here. 100%. This unhealthy thing, ridiculous dieting is ridiculous. However, when you talk about beauty standards, I mean, these guys who say these things, they're on such a high horses, and they're so righteous, and it's like they're so, how would you say, superior, when they talk about these things, like, oh, it's so barbaric. I'm like, have you guys seen, like, what, models in the West? They're stick figures. What about their beauty standards? And the reality, and it's like as if Koreans are barbaric or something. I'm sorry, but they're just overdoing it. You know, I know in the West, you know, like acceptance of different body shapes and everything. Yeah, sure. But I'm sorry, but you know what? If let's say Gucci was doing their fashion show and every one of their you know, the models were obese, I don't think it will sell as much. And it is a business. And you know, it's still same thing in the United States and anywhere else. And the beauty standards, if you really think about it, what is worse is being obese. I mean, people hurt themselves and die from anorexia, but I believe a lot more people die from overweight. Diabetes, high blood pressure, heart problems, you know, the bloodstream. I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong. I mean, that is worse. Saying that is okay is not right either. Being too thin is not right either. But saying that as if like they're somehow superior and there's Korean beauty standard, whatever, is the most disgusting thing. It's not good, obviously. But saying it's the most disgusting thing in the world, you know, I was very put off how superior they were. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I just thought they were just overdoing it.
엄청 부었어.
No, you're not.
뮤비 망했네.
우리 진 씨가 굉장히 극단적으로 심하게 했었다고.
그때는 닭가슴살이 이렇게 팩으로 있으면 닭가슴살이 2덩이 이렇게 들어있어요.
네?
그거를 하루에 2팩을 먹으면서 1년 가까이를 버텼었어요. 하루에 그것만 먹고.
1년을 하루에 2팩으로?
영양실조 걸리고 막 그랬었죠.
사장님이 자꾸 날 보시고 살이 쪘다고 하시는데 이 정도가 살이 많이 찐 건지는
항상 식단을 챙겨 먹는데 그만 먹으라고 한 책은요. 너 자꾸 돼지라고 하는데 돼지라고 하시는 겁니까?
에이 나쁜 몸아.
If we're gonna try to change the stereotypical idea of what a K-pop idol should look like, we can let them know that it's okay to be thicker, to be healthier, if that means it's not compromising your health.
또 이제 자기 건강이나 자아실현 이런 것들에 더 중요성을, 그러니까 방점을 두고 미를 찾는다면은 이게 진짜 아름다움이지 않을까 생각해요.
살도 안 빼고 자연스럽게 빠지기 전까지는 그냥 막 살 엄청 빼고 이렇게 안 하기로 했어요.
Yeah, you know what? Exactly what they said is I 100% agree. I wish the audience, fans, everyone in perception, they could be chubbier or whatever. But I also look at reality. The reality is that if I'm selling some fashion product like let's say a dress, and you know what, who looks too thin, wear the same clothes, and if they're filmed in a right way, they just look, it just, for a normal human being, the beauty standard, we just can't help it. They just look better, you know. They just film better. That's the reality of it, and it sells better. And what you guys also have to remember, especially Idol, is a different case. They're more special in that for many of these companies, these idol groups are all they got. Like HYBE used to be only a couple teams, right? BTS and like a couple, you know, new groups that they made at the time. And how these guys do is it means life or death for these companies. And these companies are made of many staffs, workers, you know, the white collar, whatever. I mean, they're a bunch of people and their families their sons and daughters and wives and grandmas that these people take care of. If they get, let's say, all get chubbier, and it might not be right, but as a matter of fact, they might lose, visually they wouldn't be as appealing as the others, and they don't do as well. There's a lot to lose. That's what I'm saying. The responsibility of these guys, they're company people, they're the flagship of these companies. And, so they expect certain look from them, and it's a very difficult balance. It is. It just is. But saying that, you know what, all fans should accept that, they can be chubby or whatever. But you know what? The fact is, let's say you didn't know any of the groups, like the new groups, K-pop groups that are coming out, and you see one group with four ladies and the other group with another 4 ladies, and one group looks like just anybody off the street, look-wise, visually. You're just normal. No, I'm not a little chubby or whatever. And just bunch of just 4 girls that you can't just girl next door or anybody, just looks natural in a good way, average way. And let's say there's another group, same 4 ladies, they sing about the same, but they're very fit and they're very pretty, and and music sounds about this right, the same or whatever. Who would you watch? Most people leans the other way. That is the reality, and it's a sad reality. But I really think they should let them be more healthier. That's for sure.
2016년 11월 29일 슈가야로구. 오늘은 잘못 들었나 싶었다.
방탄소년단 축하드립니다.
축하합니다.
Record believe huh?
2016 Melon Music Awards Best Album of the Year.
2016 멜론 뮤직 어워드 세계 대상 중
Yeah.
올해의 앨범상 수상자는 방탄소년단입니다. 올 한 해 가장 핫하게 떠오른 아이돌 그룹으로서 차트 줄서 위를 이뤄 앨범 선곡이 차트를 장악한 방탄소년단. 올해 앨범상 수상을 축하합니다.
예상치 못하게 너무나도 큰 상을 받아서
굉장히 좀 벙쪄 있기는 했는데요.
무슨 감정이라고 말을 해야 될지 모르겠다. 무대를 올라가기 전에 생각이 들었던 게 그때 첫 신인상 받을 때가 생각이 나서 좀 더 뭔가 이렇게 올라오는 게 있었는데
아멘! 감사합니다!
그때 남주 형이 마이크 대고 땀이 부어요 하는데 팬들이 이렇게 막 소리를 다 같이 이렇게 막 질러주는데 다 같은 그냥 감정이었을 것 같다는 기분이 막 들었다. 호석이 형이 그 함성을 듣자마자 자기도 모르게 그냥 바로 눈물 빵 이렇게 터졌는데 그냥
Crying again.
모두 부모님 친구들 다시 한번 감사드리고 아미 사랑해요. 아미 I love you.
시간씩 하면서 느꼈지만 참 우리 밴드가 우린 참 같은 감정을 공유하고 같은 생각을 가지고를 항상 느끼지만 또 느끼는 것 같다. 우린 같이 이렇게 하는 거구나.
지금 맞아. 네, 내려.
기대도 안 했어요. 진짜 기대도 안 했고 아직 너무 이르다고만 생각했는데 아 진짜 너무너무 감사합니다. 진짜 깜짝 놀랐어요. 진짜 너무 기대도 안 너무 이르다고만 생각했는데 와 되게 감사합니다.
아미 너무 고마워요. 아미 고마워.
와우.
아미 고마워.
또 이제 내려와서 상을 보면서 생각을 해보니 참 이 상의 무게와 또 이 상을 받기 위해 노력했을 아미 여러분들이 너무너무 생각이 나서 솔직히 너무 감동이었고 꿈만 같은 일인 것 같다.
아무도 느껴볼 수 없는 그런 일을 우리가 하고 있구나. 뭐 이런 걸 느꼈던 것 같다. 아 고생했네. 이런 말은 별로. 앞으로 더 이쁘게 만들자. 이런 말이 더 맞는 것 같아.
저희 대상 받았습니다.
이 상 자체가 저희를 완전 뿌듯하게 해주는 상이라고 저는 생각을 하는데요. 솔직히 이제 목표가 뭔지 모르겠어요. 지금 이제 딱 이제 제가 이루고 나서는
아니 뭐 우리가 여기가 끝이 아니지 않습니까?
그쵸.
우리가 하고 싶은 목표는 더 많고 하고 싶은 일은 더 많은데 뭐 되게 여러분이 되게 고생했지 않습니까?
그래서 생각났구나.
그래서 그랬습니다.
자, 감사합니다. 열심히 하겠습니다.
진짜 고생했어요.
아미 여러분, 제가 V앱에서는 이제 목표가 이제 없다고 했지만은 차에서 내내 생각하는 동시에 목표가 하나 더 생겼습니다. 그건 이제 아미분들이랑 10년, 20년 오래오래 하기. 그게 또 이제 또 그게 지나면 또 목표를 달성하는 거니까 그 목표가 또 이제 이루어지면 또 다른 목표를 제가 또 만들게요. 우리 아미 여러분은 항상 저희 7명 곁에서 많이 보살펴 주세요. 저희도 정말 열심히 할게요.
와 리허설 봤는데
힘들더라고요.
별로 인정하고 싶지 않지만 약간 멋있는데요.
아 정말요?
이렇게 위에 딱 내달렸다가 무대 밑으로 이제 옷갈아입고 들어가면 막 그때부터 빨리 하다가 이제
자, 봐봐. 여러분 레전드로 만듭시다. 자, 16만만 레전드 갑시다. 오케이.
마마.
My scene was not so swiftly, but without, but consistent of heavy, shaking hands with the devil. If the devil helped me in his clutches, the enemy was behind me.
Man, this the end of the year, the Mama Awards, these live shows. I mean, it gets worse. Maybe worse in a sense that ridiculously difficult, long, and just elaborate and wonderful, wasn't it? Man, just I was just flabbergasted. It was just crazy to watch these the Mnet Asian Music Award. Mama. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But these shows were just so And what are it just they raise the bar, the standard so high that if I was a musical group and they asked me to, even if I was famous, whatever, anyone would be like, after seeing these guys do it, I'm like, I ain't doing that. Are you serious? It's just ridiculous, man. I think Jimin has, the eyes are covered. He's going blind here. And his lines are so beautiful. But anyway, I just wanted to say how ridiculously good these were. I remember just watching this for the first time and going, what the? And I thought it just gets longer and longer. I thought the first couple was like really long, but later it just, normal people will die if you do that much, stuff. But anyway, this was so beautiful, man. Get hold.
Hotels combine Artist of the Year. Twice. 방탄소년단. 여자 주인공. 태연.
네, 수상자는
아이돌 중에 탑이라고 생각하는 그룹.
엑소요. 트와이스. 엑소랑 트와이스.
방탄소년단. 트와이스.
네.
트와이스랑 BTS.
엑소.
엑소 방탄소년단.
트와이스.
엑소.
방탄소년단.
엑소?
엑소. 엑소? 트와이스.
저는 그냥 뭐 엑소.
방탄소년단.
This was such a great win. Not only because it was great that, they got what they deserved, but the competitions they had, that the EXO album was excellent. It was not only EXO, the Twice, that, Come On Baby, and the G Friends, and even Taeyeon's, that album was just wonderful. It just, the competition, like even now, for example, when you think of Twice song or EXO song, it's song from that time. I mean, that was really popular for longest time. I mean, they were like signature songs, right? And they still won, and deservedly so. And this was about the time when nobody could bully BTS anymore. I know. There are two things, like bully weak kids, the kids that you think or for sure that you can beat up. Bullies do not bully just big scary guys. There's a point where you go, and BTS just got too big. You don't want to mess with these BTS anymore. And and I know a lot of you guys, the hate is real for all these groups. I mean, the different companies and big threes and all that stuff. And my thing is not as much to big threes, but the TV stations, media, the Korean entertainment companies, certain like TV stations. I have a really big issue with them. But it's like this, like in any group, entertainment, I don't know, business, politics, whatever you can think of. Even between countries, you know. Whenever there's too much, like if you have more power, more seniority, more everything, more money, you're bigger, stronger. After a certain time, it seems like, sadly, humanity have tendency to wield that power. And not in a positive way, not all the time. You know? Yeah, they tilt the table for their benefit wherever they can. And this includes big threes and like these TV stations, they wanted these entertainment companies to gravel, you know, do what they tell them to do, because it's always been that way. BTS skipped that, and that really pisses them off. I love them for that. But anyway, that's the thing, man. It's just they just got too big. They got to a point, I think, around this time that nah, it's just you don't want to mess with them anymore. And it's wonderful to see, you know, like they showed a clip of the people they were going against, and it was still a very good time when all the other groups were formidable. That's what I'm saying.
방탄소년단, 방탄소년단입니다. 방탄소년단입니다.
방탄소년단.
Yeah, they're winning everything.
방탄소년단.
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 국내외 음악 시장에서 자신들만의 영역을 확실하게 구축하면서 전 세계가 주목하는 정상급 아이돌 그룹으로 우뚝 섰습니다.
Not only they got just bigger and scarier or anything like that, it's, you know, just too big to be stepped on, but their worldwide impact was just too big to ignore. It was just too big. And, you know, if they, you know, tried to give it to certain Korean company like Big Threes or something, they would have been trashed. Because it was just, wouldn't make sense. Hello, Rabbit.
Came from such a small company with nothing, and they worked so freaking hard to be where they are right now. They make me believe that hard work does have its results.
데뷔 때부터 많은 일들이 있었고 안 될 거라고 하시는 분들도 정말 많았는데 이렇게 끝까지 믿어주셔서 정말 감사하고 저희가 정말 꿈에 그리던 일이었는데 이렇게 꿈을 현실로 만들어주셔서 정말 감사합니다. 저희를 항상 이끌어주시는 방시혁 PD님, 임원분들, BTS 엔터테인먼트, 좋은 음악 만들어주시는 P-Dog, Slow Rabbit 형, Supreme Boy, 그리고 우리 성득쌤, 성현이 형, 스태프분들, 우리와 함께 해주는 스태프들 정말 너무 감사하고 정말 꿈을 현실로 만들어주셔서 정말 감사합니다. And armies all over the world.
아미 분들을 보니까 나도 모르게 눈물을 왈칵.
Let's fly with our beautiful wings in 2017 as well. BTS love armies as always. Thank you very much.
진짜 우리도 고생을 많이 했고 아미도 고생을 많이 한 걸 잘 알고 있기 때문에
저희 음악과 무대가 많은 분들께 꿈이 되고 희망이 됐으면 좋겠습니다. I hope that our stage and our performance and the music could be the hopes and dreams for many people of the world.
Great, man.
열심히 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
진영이 말했듯이 정말 뜨거운 걸 느낄 수 있었다.
감사합니다. 일단 진짜 잘 올라 그랬는데 제가 이번 윙스 나오기 전에 앨범 나오기 전에 남준이랑 둘이서 진짜 펑펑 울면서 이야기했거든요. 데뷔 전에 우리 정말 시상식 보면서 내가 보면서 우리는 언제 데뷔하고 우리 언제 당반자고 오늘 좋은 날이니까.
앞으로 더 열심히 하겠다. 이건 뭐 항상 하는 말이고 이제 시작이라고 생각합니다.
빛나는 건 영원하지 않아. 햇빛이 눈부셔 눈을 찡그려도 시간이 지나면 익숙해져. 하늘 높이 올라간데도 부르기만 하던 것들도 순간은 영원하지 않아. 하지만 네가 빛나는 순간 세상은 멈춘 듯 느려지고 그 빛은 사라지지 않아.
Wings. 아, 여보세요? 예, 여보세요? 네네네. 일하죠? 다닌다기보다는 뭐, 제가 하는 일이 다른. Uh, this episode was just great. But there's one more thing I would like to say about, appropriately. When I began this, I said the BTS, they're being unchained or gaining the wing to fly. There's two things that sets BTS apart from anyone else, in my head at least. And I wasn't like a crazy fan or nothing, but that respect was always there. And the first was because when when they were unchained, where they went with it. He talked about Damien, but then later on it's Carl Jung, and being loving yourself or whatever. Just philosophically, just culturally, just everything. Aesthetically, everything just went in a more complex and more culturally. It has so much more cultural depth. And I might be old Konde or something, but I believe in classics. Not only the important thinkers and philosophers or psychiatrists or whatever, But even Damien, the literature, there's a reason that they are classics. For example, the reason they're classics is because it doesn't matter what period piece it is. The reason when a writing becomes a classic is because there's a underlying core that is timeless. That is something very fundamental about human beings. Love, hate. I don't know. So many different aspects of humanity, and these, for example, literature captured that moment. And I just feel like so much has been lost. I mean, there were times when, if you're a little bit intellectual or if you're a little bit read, you should at least read most or all of the what's being considered classics in literature, for example. But these days, just nobody reads. Nobody, But BTS really gave youth, more to think about, and the sources were, very beautiful fundamental things, and always very positive thing that they were able to give. And when they got the wings, they could have, gone crazy with it. Just they'll do anything that makes more money or something. But no, these guys went more artistic and just the content just got so much more layer, and total respect when they were able to. Oh fuck! Lost the video. What the hell happened? Ah, 씨발. I would really like to talk about two things. This was just a wonderful. Another chapter was this. Chapter 12 was also wonderful. But this is when BTS became special to me. They were just another very great, young, hardworking group that I appreciated. But this is when BTS set themselves apart. I might not be like a army, as in the sense of like a real crazy fan or nothing, but this is the group that was just in a different level for me for two reasons. One is, I think I talked a little bit about it in the beginning. When they were unchained, when they got their wings, when they could do what they wanted, I think the direction they went into, it's more, the contents were more complex, it's just very cultured, very meaningful, not only like Damien, but later on like Carl Jung and the whole thing about the self and loving yourself and how you perceive yourself and things like that. It just, when they were able to go where they could, they went in a direction not to just, anything that would please people and, maybe show skin or make money. It wasn't that. They just went in a direction that was so surprising to me. I mean, even, them reading those books were just so, I don't know, surprising, because there's so there used to be a time when even if you're a little bit intellectual, even if you're, whatever. I mean, all the classic books, at least most of it, you should read what is considered classics in literature, for example. But and at least know who these philosophers are or thinkers, and you could. It used to be a thing, really, a lot more than now. Nobody seems to think or read it anymore. But especially, but they did. Many people thought they were a lowly K-pop group, but they did. That was the number one thing. The direction they went into, where they got my respect and importance. And the second one, it's a bit of a retrospect, but I was kind of smug. I thought I was a smartass, thinking that because I recognized that K-pop was gonna be a big thing way before anybody even talked about it. I talked to people that I know, and then they thought I was nuts. Dude, how old are you, man? I'm like, no, it's just watch. K-pop is gonna be a worldwide thing. You mean Korean little girlies dancing around? Are you freaking crazy? Yeah, I thought I was all smart, and revel in that I was right. But I thought there was just a definite limit. There's a limit that's gonna hit the wall or hit the ceiling, and that was it. And that was because the Korean system of entertainment and how they produce and producing this wonderfully capable vehicle to deliver finely made, the entertainment content. I just thought, but I never thought there'll be much of a self-production and creativity to this level. I just didn't think so. My reasoning, my thought was, well, company needs to control these kids. And if they produce all their stuff, in the beginning, yeah, they will stay because they need the money and they need the training and they need the support. But after a little while, why would they stay in the company? They can produce their own music. That's their music, right? So I thought the companies who had all the power, all the money, would suppress them. Even if they're capable of producing, I thought they would limit them, to show their color. Because it's a better business idea. I mean, they want to control. I thought that so, but BTS was the first group who totally broke that, totally proved that I was wrong. Not even close. First of all, Bang Seok, this dude, he just, from the get-go, he wanted these guys to fly. I never thought that would be possible. I thought any company that starts would start with to protect their assets, that they would limit their growth. I mean, there are people like, for example, G-Dragon, of Big Bang, who's great producer, very smart, very creative, but he does that as himself or like somewhere else or in a smaller scale. And the company has grasp of their control. It was not the driving force. But these guys, their growth and understanding of the world and what they're feeling, that was the main thing. And that's crazy. The company just let them grow. And thanks to them, there are many, and even during that time, there were some other groups who were producing themselves, not because they were led to, but out of necessity, because ineptness of the company or something like that. But now there are a lot more people who are producing and become artists real artists finding themselves, and it's great. But anyway, these guys proved to me that I was totally wrong. They're what I perceived as would be just a wall that nobody would be able to break through. Oh man, they broke through. Not only that, they went to heights that I never thought would be possible for K-pop. I thought it would be a genre that would be very popular throughout the world, but I didn't think they would dominate it. So anyway, I know it was pretty long, but that is the significance of BTS to me. I think many people have the dude seemed to know quite a bit about BTS and seemed to have watched a lot, but he's not exactly a crazy army. But you know what is that old guy thinking? This is the core. You know, I watched. Not only I'm a fan to many, and I love this music too, but it was more of just learning for this new industry to grow, new culture. And I've been a observer. And BTS, my significance, they're very significant to me for those two reasons. Yeah. And I am so happy that they proved me wrong, that it is possible to evolve into the next stage where they create, they feel, and they deliver, they share. Anyway, it's wonderful, man. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.